Hello folks, welcome back to so I've gilded all the windows in the game, and by that I mean all the windows in the main game, right? These two areas are, I'd say end game. I don't know, this game doesn't really have a clear start and end, like it just isn't super clear about progression to me. Like it tells you the amount of puzzles you've done, but it's hard to feel like you've made progress beyond a certain point. It feels like this is the end of the game, which I got to very quickly. 19 out of 20 perfected windows. No, it would be, there's two missing. I don't know. I don't know how this is counting. Anyway, it feels like this would be the end, which makes this end game content over here. Which, given the size of this game, end game content is completely unnecessary, but whatever. It feels like that's that. So in the main game, the sections that are not end game content, I've gilded every window. Now it's time to bejewel those windows. I'm going to start over here in this loopy section. And there's 12 puzzles remaining. I'm probably not going to get through all 12 in one video because these are going to be the harder puzzles. Usually means they're the better puzzles. Almost universally, the harder puzzles are much better designed in this game. But I'm probably not going to finish. I'm probably going to do a few of these and then jump over here to the hedge maze because there's only 3 more puzzles here. I can bejewel this window today without too much trouble. So let me see. Once again, I just want to make sure I don't miss any puzzles that are simple, like this 3. So loopy is one of the rules I just dislike. This one, I will try to be clear. I dislike it. I do not think it is on its own a bad rule. I do think in a game as bloated as this, you should start getting rid of everything that's only 7 or 8 out of 10. You should start leaving only the 9s and 10s, but whatever. We got this rule. There can be no point where exactly 3 borders meet. And it leads to something. If you have a regular shape like this, it means that the edge of the regular shape must all be one unit. Because if I put a wall anywhere at this point, it will create loopy. So solitude, each region contains a single symbol, means that this area also must be part of this gigantic cyan block. This now needs to be a separate region. So the cyan is going to be one of these 3. This is an interesting thing. It's telling us we kind of need all 4 colors here. So now, not necessarily, like you can do this, right? This type of thing, and then two separate regions here. But in a puzzle like this, where everything has got to be connected, right? I think we're gonna have all 4 of our colors like that. I think we're gonna have to do that, which means the cyan's got to get somewhere in here. So let's suppose cyan went into this one. No, there's no way for it to get in there without cutting this off from these. I think the cyan has to be here. If it isn't, let's say we blocked this. We have another color here. Well, the trouble is, this color's got to get out. I guess maybe no. Cyan could go there as well. But cyan can't go here. Because any means for cyan to get in there is always going to block something. It's because it can't cut through here. It's got to come through here somewhere. It'll always cut off a section. So cyan won't be there. This is a new color. Cyan won't be here because it could go through like something like this, but then we got a really weird problem there. Are there any other loopy bits I should be looking for? Hold on. This section here. I don't know what color this is yet. This could be part of the cyan, but this section I can't add 2 walls because of the palisade rule here. I can only add 1. But if I add 1 here, we have loopy. Therefore, both of these are part of this unit, which means it isn't this one. So if this is cyan, like if this is all the cyan unit, which I don't think it can be. I don't think this can be cyan, because we've established we need to do something about these here, right? Like this one here needs to have all 4 colors. The reason is this, we can't do the corner with this purple, whatever this one is. If it's cyan, like there's no way to get just 3 colors. So we gotta have all 4 colors here. Feels like this is now the way it goes. No, it isn't. I have to do this. I have to make this straight up and down. This has to come up, which means I'm gonna make this one just regular blue. This one goes up and down, right? Loopy. So this is the cyan. That's the cyan, which means now cyan can't be either of these. So I gotta bring that out. This could stop here. We don't know, but I think this is right. Yeah, think about loopy and bricky. There's a lot of things I dislike about these, but the major thing is that both loopy and bricky rules really feel like you got to do pixel hunting in a puzzle. I've said this like in every video, but I'll say it again because one, I love to hear myself talk apparently, and two, I think it's unreasonable to say anyone who watches my video should watch every single video I make. Considering I do like at this point let's plays, those are very quick to make and it's time consuming to watch them all. So if you stopped in, this is your first video, thank you for joining. I'm going to bring up all my gripes that I've brought up 100 times before so that new people can catch up. So if you know what a pixel hunt is, like in adventure games where like you have to find an object in the screen and it's this teeny tiny object you have to look for, so you're looking everywhere to find it. It's very tedious. It doesn't feel good to solve. It's that type of puzzle. Loopy and bricky, bricky's another rule similar to this. Loopy and bricky feel like that. It really feels like I just got to look at every last wall and make sure I've got it there, and it's just tedious. It is just a tedious thing to do. So this has got to be another color. This isn't purple. This is probably red. Yeah, because if red is here, let's imagine, then, well, it would come out and it would have to be that, or purple would have to be that, whatever the case. It would come around and then it would have to cut through here. And then, like, what is this doing? I think that would be the challenge. Like, how would this cell ever get up there? So this now has to be the red one. It's got to come out this way. So this, the final cell, I'm going to just make it darker blue. This has to come out. Got to bring this. We'd have to bring this out like so. Now this can't be cyan. It's going to have to be red. This will always be here. So if this were blue, this would be tricky because now which one is red? If red is here, obviously we're cut off. If red is there, we're cut off. Red is there, we're cut off. So I think... Right, if this is blue, yeah, something has to go here. What is it going to be? I feel like purple goes there, blue goes here, and then red can go in this one quite easily. Or that one. No. I could be wrong about all of this, honestly. It feels like a lot of busy work right now. I can't have both of these for sure. So these are all the same color, like this kind of thing. Actually, that's just what's going to be. I'll make it out. And now this isn't blue. This is something else. So how does something else get in there? It's possible then, actually, this is the cyan. This can't go there, so this has to go. Now we can't have a wall there. I mean, it just feels like this is the right move, right? Just take it around the edge. And then I could take this around the edge, see what I mean? Now, I can't take that. This has got to be a new thing. Yeah. Oh, hold on. It's just a small region. There. Yeah, that's just... It's fine, I guess. It's just not very interesting to do these types of puzzles. And again, if you have a smaller game, it's okay. Like, just put what you want in. But a game with 1,200 puzzles by this point is such a slog, and you got to cut stuff. Cut the stuff that just isn't that interesting. It just isn't. I don't know. Maybe all the playtesters are like, you need to keep loopy in. It's different. It's so unique. But like, yeah, and you got to get normal people playing your games before you release them. Okay, so I know all of these are going to be connected, right? Like, that's just what has to be. You can't put walls anywhere here. So if all of these are connected, we can't connect to that. The end of that. All of these are also connected. It means we can't connect to the threes there. Or just there. We could do this if we want. So now, we got mismatch. So these threes are two separate regions, and here's why. If they're not two separate regions, they're one, and now we have two of the same region. So this three could be, we have an elbow and a triomino shape. We can have that. We can do whatever we like. We can't we can't do this because now both of our triominoes are spoken for. So we could do this. We can do that. We can't have a wall here because it's loopy. So we have to have this. This is our elbow shape. This now has to be a straightaway. Oh, hold on. Oh, no, I see. This could be. We can do it this way. That's what it's going to be. So this is the elbow shape. We have to do that. We got to bring that in. So we have to have our solo piece there. Are we sure about this? Well, it works out so far. Now all of these are connected. All those are connected. So I can't connect that here, right? Because then I have to connect both of them. So we've got to do that. I could connect both of these just fine. We can't put a wall there. Can't put a wall there. And then we either put two walls here. No, we can't put walls there because of the loopy stuff. So these are all one big section. I don't think I have any worry about the mismatch with this. We're not going to make another region like this. The fives are interesting. Got to watch out for these. Because just make sure they're all different. These two could be two separate regions because this 5 could belong to this one and this could be a different thing. But actually, if I made this like so, then this 5 could not take that space because it needs to escape this way. We have a loopy thing. So no to any of that. This 5 must be like that, which means that these two are connected to each other. And they can't connect this way. So we have a C shape. Okay, so here's all our big shapes. Now, we've taken this T-shaped tetromino, which is a worry because tetrominoes are very easy to make. So I've used my single. I haven't used my domino yet. I can have a domino. I can have several other tetrominos, but we'll worry about them when we get there. All these big shapes probably aren't going to happen again. So we've got an 8er, we've got a 6er, and then we've got a couple 5s here. So if these 5s... I see. If I did, I can't do this again, that's for sure. So I gotta do something different out here. If I did this, that's totally fine. Let's start. These all have to be connected. These all have to be connected. These all have to be connected. Those all have to be connected. So if the 5 connects here, it also has to connect there. It's going to overload. Therefore, we got that. This 5 connects here, it has to connect here, which would mean that's fine. Let's see. We can do this, or we can do this. It's all good. This can easily go here and there, or we can easily do that. Let's see. The 6 cannot connect here because then I have to connect there at overload. Therefore, this is given. Now, if we bring this over, we would have to connect like so, which is totally fine. This is also possible. Okay, let me see if I can figure something else out. Because I can make these the same. Either we have both of these walls or we have none of them. Thing about that, though, if I take both of these, I'd have to make this wall because otherwise we're going to overload there. But that's pretty far in the future. If I do this, I have to go like so. I think if I start with this guess here, I can work out, because now we have a triomino here, which we've already used. We have the tetromino. We'd have to take this down this way if we say this is how it goes. Well, now we got to bring this out. This would have to come out like so, and it would be able to move here just fine. And in fact, seems fine. This doesn't get me anywhere, unfortunately. Okay, let's back up for just a second. How about down here? I am now trapped in here. This is a tetromino we've done. This is a triomino we've done. We actually do have to make the 5 here. This is actually what we got to do, which means I got to block this here. This 5 now has to move in, because if it doesn't, we have a solo piece, which we've already used. So I've got to move this up, and then I've got to move it like so. And I can't move it here. That's a C shape, so I've got to have the L shape. Got to have a solo piece here. No, which means, sorry, I got to have the 8 here. Other way around, dummy. This 8 also has to go here to avoid a loopy thing. We can't have that. Can't have that. This is complete. So this is it, right? No. I got to do this. There we go. Alright, boring puzzle. Okay. Let's see, do I have any more things that aren't 5s yet? I'm in loopy. Well, I'm at the final puzzles. It's probably just going to be 5s. Just want to make sure I didn't leave any, like 2s behind. 32, let's bet. Yeah, it's 64. All right. Well, let's start with the edge. Start with the edge here. They're all 32. Ah, I can only have 4 more shapes. How do I reach all these walls like that? Alright, boring. That's just loopy for you. It's just not interesting. It's better than bricky, but it is not very interesting. There goes a 3. Loopy, palisade, rose windows. Alright. Well, all of these are the same. So now that's there. That's there. So this is the other region. It's got to touch that one. That's got to be there. Like, I don't think that's right. This probably can't reach there. Well, I think this actually just has to be like that, right? No, because that creates a problem here. So it is this, which means I've got to go this way and that way and that way. Boring. All right, next puzzle. Loopy and bricky. Well, loopy and bricky together actually do something somewhat interesting. It means that every region has to be completely divorced from other regions. So I'm basically going to make a giant sea of regions, so to speak. Like, do something like this, and then within that region, I carve out little niche regions like this. You see what I mean? That's what it's got to be. So we'll start with all the way around the edge, make the giant sea. Now, I don't need to worry about solitude and that kind of stuff. I just have to make sure I take care of this. It's got to be non-boxy. This is definitely going to be non-boxy, because the only way it's boxy is if it's every single thing. Do I have an idea what to do? This is possible, but this makes a nice region right here. That just fills a nice region. But if I don't do that, if I said somehow, actually, we're going to do this. Now, this region here can't be boxy. So we're going to have to bring this out all the way this way, and then it would have to go that way. That is so far so good. This could not move down. It would create a boxy region, so we have to bring this out. We'd have to do what? Now, anytime I definitely have a wall, every wall in this type of puzzle is going to separate the sea from actual regions. I would have to do it this way. And then I would have to also have the blue here. But now there's a problem. It can't touch that one. So we've worked out, I believe, that this is its own region. It's boxy, though. How do I fix that? No, I can't do that. If I move this up and down, these are dead ends. Yeah, that would be what that is. I must have got something wrong with this. So this has to be like so. Gotta move this out, and then it has to be this way. So we have to have this be part of the open sea, so to speak. Now if I go this way, I can actually take both of these. That's how I can do it. But either way, I have to take this one. And now if I... because the open sea now has to surround it. We got to bring that there, which is going to be this way. If I surrounded it here, I would have to do that. So we do have to make this the shape. I have to bring this around. And then that way. This is just what everything has to be. Completely surrounded in this vast sea. One of these two is going to be taken. This shape's got to come out. That's all I know there. This now is a different shape. This has to be, we're going to call this blue as well. And it can't move down because then it would create a box. So we've got to go that way, which means this is part of the open sea, like that. And then it can't be part of this. This has got to come out. And we have fulfilled the boxy condition as far as we know. This could also come out this way, which is totally fine. Don't know. This is another, we could also do it this way. How about here? There's a lot I can do there, not sure. Dead end can't be there. We would break something, so this is a new region. This comes down like so, which is that's got to be part of the open sea. That isn't. This can't be, so there you go. This will be another purple one. This, since this also can't be, these have to be the two that go together. Non-boxy means we have to at least do that. I can't bring this over. That'll always be a problem. So, they must be the same region. Because I can't ever have something together that isn't. This now has to be its own thing. Which means if this is not the blue region here, if this blue region doesn't go there, that means we're going to have a loopy or a bricky. Because we're going to have at least 3 regions in that. We can only have 2 regions per area, so to speak, if that makes any sense. So we have to do this. We got to block that. We could move this down again and then break the puzzle, so no, we're going to do this. And you always have to have the open sea surrounding every region in this type of puzzle. See, that's kind of an interesting thing with this. You always have to have the open sea puzzle with a loopy and a bricky. I just think there's too much of it. Like, it's an interesting revelation, but I have a lot of puzzles that do it. And since I don't do them all in order, I'm doing them out of order, so whatever I'm supposed to be seeing from it, it's just not that interesting. I could do this just fine, or I could make that a new region. This needs to take one of the two. And it doesn't seem to be obvious which one it is yet. This needs to be the wall here, so this has got to be the blue region. So there you go. These probably are separate regions now, but it's possible they are similar. No, I don't think so. Yeah, this can't move over. This has got to be open sea, which means, yeah, I don't think I can put a wall there because now I've got a loopy or a bricky issue. No matter what I do, I've got 3 or 4 walls. So I've got to bring this down. This can't go over. Yeah, because this here can't be the sign, can't be the open sea. So if it isn't the region that I'm drawing, it's a 3rd region making loopy and bricky. So that's got to be like so. And then this could be the open sea, or it could be not open sea. That is open sea. These are open sea. It has to bend this way. One of these two. Yeah, this now can't be open sea. It's got to be blue region. Now, open sea's got to surround. So I can't make this a new region. This has to be open sea. So there you go. Let's see. I still don't know on this one. Actually, if I make this, I just have to bend it somewhere, which is totally fine. This region. If I put a wall here, I think I break the puzzle, because now I have to make this open sea. And I can't put another wall. I have to grab both of those, and it's the corner. So this actually has to go this way. Which means that's the wall. So it's got to take all these pieces. That's the corner. That's that. This one's done. This piece, one of these two's got to go. Don't see which one. This might be a challenge. I'd have to put regions here. It doesn't seem like there's a problem with that. I could even go all the way up there. What else can I get from this? If I did this... this doesn't work. I should have caught this earlier if I was paying attention, because now I need a region down here that isn't part of the open sea, and now it's stuck at this dead end. So I do need a region here. And this region's got to bend somewhere, but it could be here, or there, or both. We don't know. It also can be, I don't know, it's just, I don't have an answer yet for that. I just know that it is not the open sea. If I do this, I would need it to bend here, and that's fine. I can't make this the dead end, because now, right, everything needs to be open sea attached to a region that's like an island. You should probably call it islands. Islands in the open sea, and the islands can never touch each other. So, if this is not the purple island, it is now going to create loopy, or bricky, in this case loopy. So it would have to be this. Well now, this can't be, so this would have to be open sea. But it can't connect this way, so we would need another region here, and now we got 2 islands touching. Not going to happen. So this has to be a new region. But it could easily be that one. It's just not open sea. If it wasn't, if I said this was blocked, this would be blocked as well, which is fine. I'd have to do that. And I couldn't move it up. I'd have to move this over. This is actually fine, so I don't actually know. It's just this is also possible. No, this is not possible. Here's why. Because now this dead end here. We'd have this, which would mean that I can't add any more walls. I've got 2 walls. This is loopy. This is bricky. Therefore, I would need to do this, but it doesn't work with this dead end. So, this is a new section that is not part of that one. So OpenC comes in, and then we can't move up because then we're going to have, unless it's one island. It's possible. But I don't think so. If I make this one island, now this dead end is going to be a problem. I'd have to bring this out. Okay, for sure we have that. If I brought this down, I'd have to bring it down again. This is totally fine though. I don't see how that's wrong. Now if I did this, right, I'd have to bring this up. Yeah, this is wrong because now no matter what I do here, this is broken. So this dead end moves out this way. So it's got to be like that. So it could go through here, or this could go through. What is that? This could be a... If we have this as a dead end, and what goes here? Right, because we gotta have non-boxy. So this can't be, this can't be the dead end here because we do that. This can't connect. This is where it has to be like that. So the OpenC's got to surround that. It's got to go this way. It means that's that. Now, we could bring this out. Is there any way? We can't block that because that's going to create a loopiness or brickiness thing. So we got to have this come out and down that way. Now we could make this here, or we could have something like that. I'm not totally sure yet. I don't think this can touch here because now we need a region that's around. That's possible. Let's hold off on those thoughts. I can bring this up just fine. If I blocked this off. If I didn't though. What if I did this? Now, I wouldn't be able to take this spot because now we have... I could also take... I could also just take that. There's a lot of options here. How about up here? Can I do something with this? If I make this a straightaway, I think I break the puzzle immediately because no one goes in here. It's a cell, but it's boxy. So I believe I need a new cell there. This is a dead end, so I need this to bend, and that's the entirety of this island. So we've got to bring the OpenC around it. Can't have 2 walls here, so this got to be part of the C. This can't be a straightaway going this way. It's got to be part of a new one, like so. Islands in the sea. This is dead end, so it's got to bend this way. That is the entirety of the island. That is that. This is now going to connect here. Could the OpenC get in there? Possibly. Now the question of this, we can't make this OpenC. It's probably got to be this and that, and then we fill everything in here. That's boxy. How do we make that not boxy? We just put another region in here. Yeah. An island within an island. There you go. That was just a lot of tedious work. Whatever. Let's do another one. What is the purpose of this? Mismatch. That's the purpose. Can't have any solo regions anymore. So we've got to create our little C here. So loopy and bricky. So once again, islands in an open sea. That's what we got to do. This region here. Here, I'll even make them island colored. There we go. These two have to go together because we can't have an issue. We can't have a solo region here, so we have to connect it like so. This now has to be like that. That's possible. This seems possible. This is a new section, but it doesn't have to be quite the open sea thing as before, right? Like I can do it that way, but it might be like sort of concentric islands. This can't be its own thing, maybe? This could be its own thing? If I put a new thing here, if I put it like a little island here, right? I would have to bring these around, like I'd have to make it an island in the sea. But if I didn't do that, I could make something else there. But I'm not totally sure what I'd want to do. Yeah, I don't have any other rules to worry about. This is fine. I'm trying to think. This has got to be a new thing. That's got to be a new thing. That's got to be... Like, don't see anything else immediately. Can't have any walls here. Definitely can't have a wall there. So whatever's here's got to come out. But I don't immediately see. Can't have a wall there, so this has got to be something. Let's see. Can't have a wall there. That's got to come out. Can't have a wall there, so this has to go this way. These two are the same region, but are they this, or are they like this, or are they in a completely new region? Well, it can't be a new region, so either this moves in to both of these, or this moves into both of these. This can move up, but that's as far as it would go. If I moved this up, I would then have to put cyan in there. And then I would also have to put it here, and there. Is that fine? If I didn't, if I moved this in, for instance, it couldn't be a new region. If I moved this one in, I wouldn't be able to have that. I'd have to move it in further. And then I couldn't have a wall there. I'd have to move it in further. And around. And around. And around. No, just that far. I'd have to move this far. Now this, however, has to be it would have to be its own island. That's fine. This would now have to be, these have to be their own islands. So doing this gets rid of my domino and my triomino, but like I don't know if that's the right move, because I have the other one, and so this is just a guess. I would have to take all of these, and now these would be filled in with the open sea. And I'd have to take... hold on a second. I think I break it there. If I take this cell, we have a wall here, so we can't have a wall there because of loopy, so there's that. Now this has to be a wall as well, which means you can't have a wall there because that's loopy or bricky. This, we can't have a solo region that's not there, so we have to do this. We also can't have a wall here, so we have that. Which means we have a wall here because we can't be on both sides of the border, but now we have loopy. Okay, let's fix that. Well, it's bricky now, so no. This is part of the sea. Which means this is a new island, but now I can't have a wall there. So this is in fact a new island. That is our triomino island. That's got to go around. We have a domino island. We have to go around it. That's okay, so we've worked that. We can't have a wall here, so we got to bring this down. Can't have a wall there. Can't have a wall there. So now we could have a wall here and bring this down, or we could bring this out. We're not totally sure. Either way, these two are the same, or those two are the same. This can't move out here unless it takes all of it. Yeah, whatever's on this is all sides of it. Now, if it's the open sea, that seems fine. If it wasn't, if I were to say this moves in, we have to take every single piece. And then what? What does that say? We'd have to bring this in, because this wouldn't be, because then we'd have to make a loopy thing. This would have to all be one region. But like, this seems fine to make this giant region, so it's all very much a guess. It's just very, these are just very tedious. Just get rid of that stuff. One of these two is filled in. If I suppose here, now I would need this to happen. Can't have it be a solo or a domino. I'd have to extend it. And if I move it down here, it's fine. If I didn't, though, if I moved this out, we'd have to at least do that. But then we can't have... We'd have to bring this all the way down. We'd have to bring this down. And now this has to be a new region, which means this couldn't move over. then what? This will move down, and it's guess land is what that is. Let's try. If I tried this, we'd have to move it out. We can't have it be this. Can't even have it stay as a domino. We have to do something else. This. Oh, this. How would we make this work? Right. I should probably see this. This is what I'm supposed to see. Any wall I add is a problem, so we have to do that. It's just so it's pixel hunty. It's just. I feel like if I was a younger person with better eyesight, you know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe I would like to look at this eeny bitty tiny thing. It's just what it feels like to do these puzzles. So we do have to, in fact, do this. I could, if I brought this down, I would have to bring it all the way around. That's just what would have to happen. And I'd have to bring this all the way around. I'd have to block that. What does this tell me? It doesn't tell me anything immediately. I just know that I'm going to have to add something at minimum here. But there's got to be stuff on the other end of these. These do have to all be connected. If I didn't connect these, if I brought this out, what would I do? This would have to come out. And now if this being a wall, this would force this down. This would be forced down. Since that's a wall, that's forced. I can't put this over here, so that's a wall, so this would be forced down. Can't have any walls there. I could do... Now, it's not as clear what to do from that point. But yeah, it's very guessy. I know that these are all one unit, but it's possible. This can't move down unless it takes all of them. It could be that this is all one unit. If this comes out, could it be this way? No. If this comes out, we would have a problem. We would have that. So this would, if it's one unit though, that's got to be there. Which means we could do that or that. I gotta find something else better than this. Can't tell me anything there, it doesn't tell me anything. If I brought this, or could I bring this around? Like, this could all just be one giant island, right? I hope I'm not meant to just pick one of these and go with it, because that's called guessing. And the game keeps on telling me how smart it is that we don't have to require any guessing, but... If I imagined that this was somehow an island within an island, if we said this wasn't a sea, wasn't the ocean, island within an island, it can't be solo, it's got to move somewhere. So how would I make it work? Moving this way would be disastrous. We have 3, so we'd have to block it here, which would mean we'd have to take this around. We would have to move this up. Well now, let's see. This would have to move in. No, because then it creates 3 regions. We'd have to move this in, and now this would have to move up, and we now have 3 regions here. It's really tricky. Yeah, because we're going to have a problem here. No matter where we block it off, we're going to have a problem. So I think from that, we can work out that we need to have this be open sea, right? That's got to be the open sea, and I can't move that way. So I think, yeah, we gotta block that, and we gotta, yeah, so there we go. The sea is gonna stay this color. This is how it is. Have to do that, have to do that, have to do that. This could move that way if we want. Like, that's fine. It can still connect. Or we can block it. These two are definitely the same. These two are the same. If I did this, I would have to move the sea in. That's fine. Is there a loopy I'm missing somewhere? There could be. It's just so easy to miss. If I say this is all open sea, what does it do? It doesn't do anything. If I say it's all belonging to an island like this, then what? It doesn't give me anything. If I take this, we have to do that. The only way to get another type of island, like we have these little islands here, the only way to get another one is to do, like, see this island in the middle of orange. Imagining the rest of this was open sea, right? That's how it would go. I don't think I have any room for that. I think it's just open sea and the green islands. So if I do this, I have to get open sea here. If I do this, the open sea is there. But that's not that useful. This is possible. If I said this was open sea, right, I would have to put island on all of these. It would just have to be all of them. Which then would do what? It would mean I can't bring that down unless it was like this. Like this is all totally fine. I don't think this is the right answer here. But if I said this was an island, right? It's got to come out. It's got to bend at some point. And whichever way it bends, it can't bend any further. It could be both of these. Now, if it bent up this way at all, we couldn't bring that down. So we'd have to bring this in. We'd have to bring this around. We'd have to bring this around. And then we'd have to bring all of this around. It feels like there's not a unique answer here. I just don't know. It could be like this would force all this, and maybe the answer to what this is dependent on if I have another T shape somewhere. But I'd have to take this. I'd have to take all these. I'd have to take that one, which means I'd have to take all of this. Would all be one island now, which means this would be all one. This would have to take something. Like, at this point, it's just like, what? This doesn't work. This doesn't work because of that. This wouldn't work. Well, yeah. Hold on. Let me back out of this. So I'm just in guess. I feel like I just gotta be. This is just so tedious. How do you make a game like this and not catch it? Just how do you do that? If I make this an island shape, it's got to at least do that, because it can't be these shapes. So now, these would have to be open sea shapes. Great. Awesome. Which means this now needs to be island. Actually, all these would need to be open sea, because this needs to be island, so we have to block that. So that would happen here. This is what would happen if I make this island. That would have to be open sea. I could do this, but this is still island. I don't know how it's going to... Yeah, both of these would have to be. This would be a problem. It can't meet there. So this would create a problem. So one of these at least would have to move. Yeah, we have to cover... Yeah, so these will all have to be one. That's great. Perfect. Amazing. Now, what do we do if with the rest of this stuff? One of these is open sea, one of them is island. I can do it that way. Or I can do it this way. This is just a guess. Well, now I need this. This would still have to go out. This would have to go. If I did it this way, I would need, yeah, I would need C on all of these. So no, I'd have to do it that way. I have to do that. Means both of these. Means both of those. Means I can do that, or I can do this. I could again. Oops, hold on. I could take it like here and then make an island. See, I just guessed my way. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go over here. Let's do these. These are probably better puzzles. Let's finish off the hedge maze. 5, 5, and I missed a 2. Well, it doesn't look like there's all that much to do here, but we'll see. This goes here. This piece is going to connect now to this, right? So it's actually going to do it like this. Like that. That's what it's going to be. And then here's that. It's not that interesting. All right, how about this? Precision. So we have a bunch of 7s. Well, if we add this up, 4 plus 1 plus 2 is 7. Right? So if I create a thing here, and if I were to do something like this, right? I have now size of 4, but I've completely fulfilled this much. I would need 2 more to the left and 1 more down. Is that right? Yeah, I would need to do something like that, because if I just make them straight out, I'll overload. So I need to, at some point, I think I have to do exactly this. I think this is exactly the shape. of that piece. This needs 3 to the left and 3 to the right. If you add 3 plus 3 plus the 1 cell that's here, you get 7. So I can't have any cells that are not either directly left or right. This one, it could be here, it could be there. This has a lot of options, so I'm not totally sure what it is going to be. Either way, this is going to be a different region, so it's got to come out this way. And if it brings up here, we have a problem. So this has to go, this just has to be a straight line. That is now here. This is done there. This one could take those, or it could do something like this, and we have another region coming out. This region's got to come out. Whatever this region is has to touch all of these. It's not going to touch that. There's got to be a region in here, and then it can't touch that because it'll overload. Huh. So since it can't touch that, it's got to move. It could do something like this. It's totally fine. Whatever the case is, this one just has to get one above. Now doing that, like something like this, it would have to be over here, right? And then I have a lot of ways to make that happen. Now, if I said this was a new region, we do have to do this. And it's not part of this region. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would have to go this way. This would have to go here now. It could take that. What goes there? This is a new region again. Alright, we're just guessing. Let me figure it out using some kind of actual workaround. This needs 3 below and 3 to the right. That plus this cell equals 7. Right? But could I ever do something like this? Right? Because, yeah, I could add a piece to either side. So it's not clear what I do with that. This needs 3 and 2. I don't think I can put a wall here for this piece, because if I do that, then how do I get this without overloading or underloading something? So I think I've got to make this piece move over, and I think I've got to take that one. All right, I imagine if I don't take this piece to the right, in order to get 2 pieces here, I've got to create some kind of like a small region inside it. So that's got to be there. And if I block that one, I have a new region here. So how do I get this region to look at 3 above? So I've got to take those 2. And now 1, 2, 3, I need 2 more above. So that's only 5. So I need 2 cells that are sort of over there. Now in this, if I take this cell here, and I've got 16 left, 4 of this needs 3, 4 of this needs 3. So you take care of 6, right? There's 10 left. I fit a 7 in there, there's 3, and it won't be these 3. So I think I have to stop. I think I can't put that there. That's going to be interesting. Because like that's as far as I can go. If I put this here, it breaks the puzzle. So that means I do have to take those 2. And that means I got to take those 2. Now this has to be its own region here. It could go that far. Like this is totally fine. Something's wrong here. Something's got to be wrong. I can take this one. I just need the precision. It just feels like I have a lot of options that all work. So this one... In here, since I need to take... I can't take this one. It's got to be at least this far, but it could also just be this far. Now, how do I get these to work? Now, if I didn't take this cell, I would have a really hard time. Yeah. So I gotta take that one. Now, if I take this cell, 4, 5, 6, 7, this would be the absolute only way to do this. And now this is gonna have trouble. But not that much trouble. 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's gonna be a problem. Yeah. So I think I can't take that piece. I think I've got to block that. Now, if I don't take this piece, then again, I still have to get to there. So I've got to take that one. If I take this piece, I have a problem. So that's not going to happen. Now, to get 3 below and 3 to the right, I can't have any pieces back here. They've all got to be these directions. So if I do it like this, this gives me room for this to grow. Kind of. Seven. That's overloaded. I wonder. If I take this over now, this one is the challenge because anything is going to overload. Oops. Now if I said something like this, now the trouble is how do I get, yeah. So I think this is the challenge spot. Because I know that this cell here can't be the purple because it's going to overload the purple. So it must be a new region. And this can't bend down. Because then we have... Could it? This could. We could do it like that. And now this is a separate region. It's got to come out. So yeah, we do have that. That would be this region. And now... 7. Ah, we don't have enough here. What else could we do here? Is there any other way I could do these? I don't think so, because now also I got a really bad number here. Got 9. So I've done something horribly wrong. So let me start again with this section, because this is the one I feel like I actually had something logical to do. Now, I couldn't take this, right? Well, I could take that. I just couldn't block that space, because then I'd have to do this. And then we would be... If we did this, we can't get up. So we'd have to... Yeah, we'd be stuck. So I think I have to take that space, but I could take this space. Like so. And then that's that. And then we have this cell, because we have to make a separate thing here. Now... This cell here can't, like I thought, what if I take these? Well, now I'm out of luck. So I'm not going to take all that. This has to be a new region that is not part of these. So this got to come out, which means I've got to take 3 of these. Which means I have to at least take those 2. But not that. I have to take these 3. Which means I can't take those now. Ah, this doesn't work. Right? I'll overload. Not much else I can get done around here. If this is a new section, it's got to move this way, so the 3's got to be those 3. Means this is a new section as well, but now, like, there's no way to make it reach. Okay, so this is wrong. I'm just gonna be honest, I just genuinely don't see the break in here, which is kind of annoying, because it just means I'm floundering. Yeah, these 2 cannot be the same region. They gotta do that. I've got to get this region up. This purple can't take that region, because any way it does so is going to either make a giant purple region to fill enough cyan spaces, or it's going to cut cyan off. So that means purple has to be over there or there. Can it ever be over here? This is 6. It could never bend down and get up there. So it'd have to do something like this. Now, this thing taking 3 spaces below it, there's only 5 available. It wouldn't be able to take that. So it'd have to take... And this has to now escape. So it'd have to take these 3. Great. But the problem is this needs to take 3 to the right, and it can't ever take anything directly above or to the left. So we're trapping ourselves in. So this purple has to take that one. That's just the one it has to take. Now, this needs to take 3 below. and 3 to the right. So it can't ever take those. These 3, it could be like this, it could be like this. It's going to have to take the one directly below. These are just going to have to do what they're doing here. Yeah, so now the cyan's got to fit somewhere in here. Can this work if I take this space? I don't think so, because this is 7. This is 6. Yeah, it's got to be like this. How on earth would I do it any other way? But then this is just a problem here. This is just a different issue. I could do it this way. I could do it this way and have these take these 3, and now it can take this one here. And so, but I think I'm going to run into the trouble I ran in earlier with this, though. So I need to take 2 more over here. So these would be done. And then this would be a new region. This would also be a new region over here. So I know I would have to do this, but I could bring these over however I like. I've got to have regions there. Here, I'm going to make this, and then make that, and then I'm going to put a red region there. So I know this would happen. I couldn't get in there, so this has to be the red region. I can't have that be part of purple, so this is part of red. Because if it isn't part of red, red is going to be very difficult to fill in. So that would be part of the red. Now this 2, is it possible that I did... Is it possible I could do something like this, right? Now I would need 2 above. Something like that does work. Even something like this works. Now, is it possible I block that one? If I said here, I'm going to change this and make this blue. If I said this is blocked there, right? I'd have to take that one, I think, because I can't block both of these. Because I'd have to do, like, let's see. Yeah, this fulfills the 4, 2, and the 1, but I'm short on blocks. So I would take this one. I would take 2, and then I would be screwed no matter what I did. So I do have to take that block, right? Because if I do this, every block above is going to be to the left. So I'm going to get 2 blocks there, 1 block there. Yeah, I'm going to be over. So that's got to happen. I can still do this, right? This is still possible. So I can bring this up. Could I even do something like this? Yeah, it's got a lot of options. But I know that this goes up here. Now if I blocked this here, we again have a problem getting this down. We would just have overload. So that is not that. That goes there. That goes there. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These can't connect to each other. So if I bring this up, is this possible? That's fine. I'd have to do this. This would have to move, and now this would have to come down. And it would, in fact, be possible. In fact, this actually fits perfectly. Is this what it's supposed to be? This feels like random blah blah. This can't be there. It has to be these 3. That means this is a new section, which comes out. So we've got to do that or that. This has to come out. That's got to come out that way. Which means this can't be a new section because then it would block stuff in. So this is the purple section. Can't take those. So it could take those 2. It could take this one. This can't take all those. In fact, this can't even take that cell, right? It could. It just can't take all 3. So it's got to move up somewhere. We've got a new cell here, so let's take 4. That's got to take... This does have to take that, which means we do have to take this cell. I think I got it. This just... that just didn't feel very good to solve. That's too bad. It's not... I don't think this is a bad puzzle. It just feels like that just is not fun to do. Let's get this last one done. Oh my god. 57. Are you kidding me? It's really tiny on my screen, my giant screen, so it's probably even worse for you. But that says 57 there. That's this 57 here. Holy shit. How many do we have? We have 138. So it's possible that these two 57s don't touch each other. Okay. I'm going to start down here with this 1. This just says 1, and it can't move anymore. That's just the end of that. Now, with this 57, we've got to move up, and we've got to move through. Like, we're going to have to do that to see cells. The nice thing about the 57s is every cell that they can see will be part of the compass number, because we can't, like this upper cell, we can't have cells above, left, or right that aren't below it. Every cell's below it, every cell's above this one. So we just have to count this number plus the cell. So I have 5 out of the 57 cells here. Now the danger is if I, oh, hold on. Here's a spot I can do. This 2 has to take those 2 cells, the only 2 you can see. Now this needs to take 3 cells, it's that. The danger is I don't think these big 57s can touch any other compasses, because I think they'll massively overload. I don't think I have to do much math to prove that. I don't think there's any way to see 57 cells below this that only sees 1 cell to the left of that, for instance. So I think that is a good rule of thumb here. So is it just this here happening? I feel like that might just be it. But it's possible, like, I could do all my 57 cells over here. I just don't know immediately on that one. Let's see. Let me find another spot. This 2 is going to be interesting, because we've got to get... This 2 has to escape. So this 2 and this 3 go together. We just got to go that way. Does it go through here? Because then this would be as far as it could go, for instance. 2, 3, and it would be like that. Ah, that wouldn't work. Unless it was like that. Ah. Hold on, this goes here. If I connect... Okay, this goes. If this connects here, then this is a new region. This would have to connect that way. So now, this 3 is fulfilled. I can't put a cell there. I'd have to put a cell here, because 2 more... I can't get above this line, so I'd have to do that. Which is possible. So this would actually work as a region. If I did it differently, if I said, well, obviously these connect to each other, but if I said it doesn't connect to this 3, now I have to go this way. And now this 3 is no way it's being filled. So I'm pretty sure I actually had to do that exact thing. Let's make this one blue, make it different. Put this stuff. So here, I cannot put any more cells there. I can do this, but it feels bad. I can do this cell, I can do that one, I can do that one. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's this one to give the most space for one of these guys to get through. But I'm going to hold off on that. Let's see. Do I have any others I can figure out from there? Well, hold on. Let me just bring this out at least. This probably isn't going to touch that, because then it would have to get all of its cells from over there, but I don't know. We can do something like that. I don't know. Let's see. This one here. If I said that this one doesn't connect to the 3 above it, it's got to move over to get there, because it's not going to go through. It's not going to go through this. This is just silly. If it did that, like this 3 now has nowhere to go. This 3 would have to take those 3, so the 1 would have to go around, and now this 57's trapped. So these got to connect to each other. But if I take this cell, right, then this now has to escape this direction. And this is all sort of moot, which is fine. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's just look here. If I connect, for instance, there. All right, hold on, let's get rid of that. If I connect here, this is all fine and dandy. I just have to make my 57 all over here. If I don't, if I say that these are new regions, this 4, actually, if I connect these 2, I need 1 more cell somewhere in the middle, or 2 more like this. Either way, I'm blocking this off. So, I'd have to go through here, but now this 3 isn't, it would have to grab these 2 cells and it would cut that off, right? It's not going to happen because I can't do this. I can't have any more. These cells all have to be below. So either it's here or it's something like this. That's what I got to do here. Now, with this, if I took this, I would just make sure all my cells are being grabbed from here. That's really not a problem. I can't take both of them, obviously. We're going to have a problem with that. If I said, let's think about this 3 here. This 3 can't connect, it'll overload there, so we know that much. This 3 can't connect here, because if we do this, this is always going to overload. So this 3 must be blocked that way. Here's one way we can do it. Let's see. This 1, this 2. If I take this 3, if I were to say that's blocked, I don't go straight down, I go to the right. Well, now I got to move down somewhere. It won't be there. And if I do this, I have to have 3 and 1 below it. So no, this has got to move down. So now if I block it here, I have the same problem. So I got to connect, which now this 1 is complete that direction. So I got to do this. That would be done. So this 1 now has to connect like so. Yeah, that's just going to have to connect. And then the rest of these are filled in. It just feels like I'm wasting a lot of space. This can't be right, but I think this is. This guy... This is... I can't immediately say this is impossible. I'd have to do a lot of extra work to figure out that this is impossible. To a degree, I feel like it's unreasonable to ask a puzzle solver to do, especially for something that isn't a 7. I cannot immediately prove this wrong. Like, I think that you can fill stuff up here. It's just, it feels like it's very difficult to do that. It might be that these 2 regions connect to each other now that I think about it, because I got about 102 more regions to fill, or cells. This needs a little more than 50. This needs a little more than 50. So, yeah, there's no way. These 2 cells connect to each other. And they could all connect with it, like they could connect here and touch them. But yeah, I don't have to make 2 separate 57s. I make 1 of them. Huh. So this 1... No matter what this 1 does, it blocks the 57 from cutting through here. Right? So whatever I do with this 1, if I do it this way, this 57 is not going to be here. It's just not going to touch the 3 unless everything is over on this side. I just don't think it's going to happen. If I do something like this, it's blocked. If I do something like this, it's blocked. Like, you see how it's always blocked. So I think 57's got to go this way. Because if I touch this now, it's also going to touch this 1 down here. So all of the 57 have to be sourced from this side. Which, again, I think I can't see that it's impossible. It just feels like a stupid move to make. But I think in order to prove that it's wrong, I would have to individually count every little region and count up all these compasses. Which I cannot stress enough is such a tedious thing to do that if you're asking me to do that as a necessary part of your puzzle, I'm going to tell you, go fuck yourself. Don't do that. Don't make me do that. Please don't make me do that. So I think we have to come through this sort of thing. Now, if we have to do that, then this would have to move up. We can't block it. We'd have to move this piece and finish it this way. This 3 would have to move up like so. Now, this 2 would be more of a challenge because we would not be able to bring it down here, right? We'd have to bring this around. So what do we do with this 2? This 2 suddenly has to move down here, like so. See what I'm saying? This just works. Alright, see what I'm doing there? That just works. Make that purple. It's a lighter shade of blue so you can see. Yeah, I think this is what you're supposed to do here. And then this can come around. Now the trouble is going to be this. No, we're going to cut through this way. We're going to come this way. That's how it's going to go. This is going to be tricky. No, this is fine. This can go this can go. And then if we did something like this, I blocked it off. That is 57. That's just 57. Am I supposed to get that quicker than I got it? Because I feel like I didn't get that very quickly. I don't know. It's fine. It's just fine. This to get 1, I see what's going to have to happen here. We're going to take it up like this. And then we just have a separate region in there. The purples is much more obvious. This 2 is going to have to grab... this is going to be interesting. How am I going to get 3? Okay, I think I'm going to have to do some funky business in here with this sort of thing. So, this is how that goes. Let's make that... I'm going to make this purple and make all these little teal regions. Now, in here... So, I've got to grab 2 more. This is going to be like that, and then we're done here. And then this one's also done. Anything else I'm missing? I'm missing this region right here. I think that's a really clever setup. It just ended up being quite tedious. That's unfortunate. But I'm not gonna knock it. I'm just gonna say that's just kind of what we ended up doing. I'm glad I didn't have to do any sort of counting. I'm not sure if I was supposed to get to the revelation that there's a pathway like this faster or not. But yeah, it's an interesting use of the compasses, I will say that. Jeweled Age, adorned 20 windows with jewels. Amazing. Okay, well, I still feel like I'm only maybe 90% of the way through the game, and I've got 80 of these videos. It's just too much stuff. So yeah, what do I got left? So I'm up to the castle gates is all bejeweled. So I got to bejewel the inequality window, the bricky window, which is going to not be fun, the loopy window, which is also not fun, the watchtower window, which is pretty hit or miss. Some of these are really good, some of them aren't. Difference is mwah, beautiful. Why are all the shitty ones so big? Like, the bricky section is one of the biggest, if not the biggest section. The loopy section, it's not the biggest one, but it just feels huge. This one is huge. Like, look how many more there are to bejewel. 16 to bejewel. This one was more like 9, but that was fine. But this one had 18, I remember, because it was such a big number. Whereas these good areas have less. Inequality actually has a lot. That's good. I like the inequality section. I don't know. And then the compass one, it's just so many. There's just so much. And that's not good. That's not... I'm not saying it like, oh man, you made so much. Isn't that amazing? Aw. It is too much. It is literally too much in the game. And so it's worn out its welcome. All my enthusiasm for this puzzle game has dropped. I won't switch to like a negative review saying don't buy this game, don't support indie developers. Support these indie devs, but you should let them know that they have 2 strikes. They got 2 strikes now, with their first 2 games having this problem. And then I can get onto this area, which I hope is full of the best stuff. We'll see. But in the meantime, get the hell out of here, and I'll see you next video. Bye.